This Yamaha Inviter has been sitting in a shed for over 10 years. Can we get her running and riding again and maybe rip her around, see what she can do? Let's find out. Oh yeah, one more thing. The motor is locked up solid. This is going to be a fun one.
That's funny.
What's better than one Yamaha Inviter? Two Yamaha Inviters. Now, before we start on this disaster of a project, we need to rewind time about 2 years. So let's hop in the DeLorean up there and get the old flux capacitor up and running and rewind ourselves 2 years to past Wyatt and take a look at this thing and see how far we've dove into this project then, because I honestly don't remember. Pew, 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 pew. All right, guys, a little backstory on this sled while I kind of give it a quick walk around. This is a 1987 Yamaha Inviter, and I am actually the second owner. I bought it from the original owner who bought it brand new, and I believe his name is Chris. He watches the channel, so shout out to you. And he actually bought this for his wife as a wedding present. And I think it's probably one of the best wedding presents someone could get, especially back in the late 80s. And her nickname was Cuppy, so they nicknamed this sled Cuppy. And for tradition, I am gonna keep it. So Cuppy here has a problem. And that problem is she is locked up tight. So he told me he had it in storage for about 8 years. It was in a shed. I'm sure it wasn't climate controlled or anything. And he just retired and he went to go pull this out as just a little tinkering project, and it was locked up. He decided he was done with it and didn't want to pursue with it. And that's when I saw the post on Facebook, 250 bucks. I jumped on it. And I was actually second in line, and then I got a call or a text from him about an hour later saying, hey, come get it. And I mean, I appreciate it. This thing is so cool, and I've always been looking for one of these. The seat is in immaculate condition. A little bit of like light molding, but we can clean that up. There is no cracks, no fades. Yeah, it's dirty, it needs to be cleaned, but there is nothing on this sled that is like out of the ordinary. Track still has some tread left on it. Skid looks good. We're gonna go through bogey wheels and all that. I want to kind of bring the sled back to its new glory. The carb is locked up. The brake works. It has 3,040 miles on it. He said his wife kept up with him. He had the bigger sleds, bigger engine sleds. This is a little 300. And he said his wife kept right up with them around corners and everything. He was very impressed. Isn't this wild? It's like riding a lazy boy. No thumb throttle. It's all finger throttle. And you just sit back and go. Big old windshield. So yeah, that's kind of a quick little overview. We have a lot of work to do on this thing. Definitely a lot of work. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm just too excited. Sorry guys. Let me see what's in here. So that's the head gasket. He did pull the head off just to see what it looked like in there. You can see it looks fairly clean, but my guess is the rings are stuck. So we're going to try to see if we can free this up and get this engine going again. There is evidence of mice in there, and yeah, we just have to give this thing a really good cleaning. I'm sure this is full of mouse house and whatnot. He said the tank was completely drained when he parked it 8 years ago, so we luckily don't have to worry about bad gas. Oh, it has hand warmers. Love it. Oh, yeah, let me also show you what's in here. We have the original manual, which is really cool. CF300L snowmobile manual. And it looks like we also have a snowmobiler safety handbook. Super cool. What else we got in here? We got extra spark plugs. They look like they're just kind of spares and used. We got hand warmers. And then I think the coolest thing of all, we have the original Yamaha toolbox with Yamaha tools. How cool is that? We got a whole bunch of stuff. Spark plug, wrench, screwdrivers, other various wrenches. I mean, you don't find these much anymore. So yeah, I got the sled for $250, and I thought that was an incredible deal. We're going to get this thing all cleaned, see if we can unstick the motor. I'm really hoping we can. I did put some Marvel Mystery Oil in it, and it's sat for the last 2-3 weeks. Unfortunately, the piston is right at the exhaust opening, so I can't just dump it and let it sit. It just goes right into the pipe. But a little bit did get around the edges, so hopefully that helped a little bit. And we're just gonna take a ratchet to the crank and just see if we can slowly maneuver that back and forth and see if we can free it up. Now I know nothing about these at all, so we're gonna kind of learn as we go. Just kind of getting into these Yamaha snowmobiles. This is the second one I've ever owned. First one being that Phaser, if you guys seen that video. Those are both the same size. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see in there. It does not look good. It's in the intake. The whole carb is actually starting to corrode and it's everywhere. God, I hate mice. I'm gonna take this boot off, but I think it goes, since they got past the carb, I think it goes way in there, and that's why the piston seized. Just mice caused it. I'm not sure if this engine's fully full of mouse, then we might have to just get a donor, because I don't know if it's worth saving that. Alright guys, unfortunately after applying a bunch of heat and trying to tap it out, I ended up snapping the choke cable in there. Kind of figured that it was stuck, really stuck. But for S's and giggles, I want to see what it looks like inside here. Either way, I'm probably going to end up finding a donor carb because I really don't like the look of this body. But I just want to see. Yeah, not too bad. A little bit of corrosion. Needle still moves. A lot of dust in there. Look at that. Well guys, that's going to end it for this carb at least. I got a good fuel bowl out of it, and we got a float, a needle, 4 screws. I'm going to try to mess with this a little more, but she's done. She really is. It's not, I don't think it's really worth trying to mess with it. Well guys, my morale is low. I came into this hoping, you know, maybe just a quick stuck ring from sitting, a little bit of moisture or something, a little bit of a freeing up, go through the carb, and just see if we can get it to bark off and then start diving into her a little better. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. Everything is corroded, mostly from mice, unfortunately. Mice got to this one bad. I'm going to call it a night tonight. It's getting a little late, and I'm just going to go in, think about my choices that I make on these things, and either tomorrow or the next day, I got to finish up this Snow Traveler. I'm going to pull the motor and go from there. I mean, see if we can at least save the motor. I already got to try to start finding a carb, see if I can get one on eBay or something for a used one. Or it might just be easier if I can find a donor sled for a couple $100 if it's rotted out, but the motor still turns over. That's all I need. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, so a lot of mice intrusion and all that stuff. So let's get this cover off and dive back in, kind of refresh our memory. Because after finding all that, I kind of had to hold off and wait for something to come up. Why, hello, Cuppy. Good to see you again. Just how I remember. Oh yeah, just how I remember. Yeah. Let's get you in the light here. Really bad. So, you think it's sitting for 2 years has unstuck the motor? Probably not. The issue is that, like, the cylinder looks great. It's unfortunately what's inside of it. So the whole story behind this is I picked this up actually from the original owner in Maine. I think I got it for like $250. There's no rips in the seat. All the plastic is super clean. There's like a little scrape right here. But other than that, I mean, it is really, really clean. I think if I remember right too, it was lower mileage. 3,000. So it actually has more mileage than that one. So what happened was I was waiting for a donor sled to come into play because this motor is clearly seized. I'm going to try to attempt to unseize it again, and I soaked it in mystery oil. The issue is the piston's all the way at the bottom, so like a lot of it leaks out the exhaust. So I can't like let it soak, but we'll see what we can do. But what I ended up doing was waiting and waiting for the right deal to pop up. And this one came up in like Keene area of New Hampshire. Seems like that's where all the sleds are. And this one, I think I picked up for 600 bucks, and it will run. I mean, it'll start up right now. The battery's dead, but it starts and runs. It has a little bit of an oil leak. I think it's just a cracked line, and it needs a good cleaning. It's sat outside, but once I got this one, it's one of those things I can't tear this one apart to fix that one, because this one's actually in really good shape too. It's not as clean cosmetically as that one. You know, there's rips in the seat, it's dirty, it's a little grimy. It does have lower mileage at 2,300, but you know, it's an Inviter. So then I was back to square one again, because I really can't cut that thing up. I would feel terrible. So then this guy was selling 2 Yamaha Inviters, and he had a spare motor laying around. It is unseized, it has the electric start on it. So awesome. When I went to go pick it up, no carburetor. Boo. So I was like, okay, you know, carburetor on eBay, who knows, 60, 70, 80 bucks maybe. $175 for this. He was the only guy on eBay that had this carb, and I think he knew that. And I tried to, you know, lowball offer him at 150, and he came back at 170. So there we go. It's actually $170, but this carb is very clean as I can see. I didn't dive into it, but at least the butterfly valve is intact, unlike the other one. So I think we can make that motor work. If we can't unseize that, it would be nice if we unseize that, put that carb on, and have her run on her original motor. That would be awesome. Oops. Maybe if I put a breaker bar on the clutch, I can see if I can wiggle it enough where it breaks free. So I don't know what that is. It's like it's right at the. That's loosening up the bolt. So I need to. Fortunately, I'm just tightening up the bolt. Ooh. See all that? Yeah, that ain't good. So that's the side of the piston. And that is really bad. I'll attempt a couple more times just so I can say I got it unseized and be proud of myself, but we do have that spare motor, so. Well, it's been a couple weeks and just things have been happening. We have new projects coming in, events that I'm going to, and then also just family stuff and things like that. So unfortunately, I haven't been messing around with this engine And as you could see there's an engine in the sled. That's the seized one. So I am going to attempt, for my amusement and for your amusement, one more time to see if we can unseize this, because I think it'd be extremely cool to see this thing run again after it's been seized for however long. And I'm sure the bearings in the crankcase and stuff from the mouse P and stuff got in there, and maybe they're seized up, and maybe if I do free it up, they're not going to be perfect, or it might make noise. I'm not sure, but it's a $250 sled. I'm not going to be too worried about it. If this engine kabooms, then we have another one right on the shelf. But I just think it'd be extremely cool to see this thing run again and ride around the yard after it being seized. So what I'm going to do is take this tool that I bought. Let me go grab it. This is a flywheel tool. So it's made to hook on flywheels where you can spin them if you're either like doing timing, or if you're a lot of guys use it if it's a seized engine. You can hook it to the flywheel and spin the flywheel. What I'm doing is hooking it to the fins of what I'm doing is sticking it on the starter gear on the primary clutch, and I'm going to take a breaker bar and see if we can use this tool and see if we can try one last attempt to free this thing up. Now this is just a cheap Amazon tool, it's nothing special, so we might break the tool, and if that's the case, then we're going to admit defeat. So let me grab a little breaker bar and see if we can spin this thing over. Just a quick close-up for you guys. You can see it hooks onto the fins. And then we can really give this thing a romp and see if we can use that to free that up. Now I did heat that, soaked it with PB for the last couple weeks, kept trying to do some heat cycles. Let's just see if she comes loose here. Here we go. Jeez. Fortunately, we're bending the metal of the cheap tool here. Haven't broke any teeth yet, though. Jesus. So I've been putting a vice grip on the back of that so that arch doesn't keep bowing out of the way like it's been doing. I've been getting the piston to move now. Unfortunately, I'm starting to run out of, some teeth are broken or marred up pretty good. What's nice though is I'm starting to get into fresh new teeth. Oh. Oh, we're getting there. Look. We're actually covering the exhaust and the intake inlets there now. Oh, that's good. Now that I got the piston up at top dead center, I'm gonna attempt to dump some mystery oil down the crankcase here while we keep spinning her over. And when I pull the motor out, I'll just drain it out. And we also got to do a heavy degreasing and power wash in the bottom here. This thing is grimy, but I think we're getting it. What a battle that was. We had a bunch of Marvel mystery oil splattered everywhere. This whole thing needs to be cleaned up. I have rags underneath soaking it up because it's dripping from the bottom. It's like pooled down there. But we won. We won after an hour and a half of messing with that. I ended up taking this tool, putting a set of vice grips right here on the inside of the clutch and on the top so it wouldn't pop off, and just working it, hitting it, heating it, hitting it with wood on the top of the piston again. And now it moves. There's one spot right there. You can see. You can see the mystery oil coming out of the crankcase. But look at how smooth that is. Till we get to right there. See, you can hear it. There's still a tight spot, but I think we can work it out. Now what I really want to do, because I'm just curious, is see if we can, we're going to leave this right at top dead center there, so we can stick our boroscope through the bottom. Look at the oil pump, it's working too. So what I want to do now is I'm going to unbolt this from the sled again and get this whole crankcase drained because it still has some mystery oil floating there. And then we can really see what's going on in there. And yeah, so let me unbolt this, get this back out of the sled, drain it out. But I think we're going to get to run on this original engine. I really am pretty confident. So it's good news, but it's still not so good news, but it's better news than what I thought. You see in there, that's on the side of the, basically it's like the piston wall there. That's kind of the more lower section right by the exhaust outlet. Let me see if I can kind of, you can see the piston rod there, but that's where the rust is, and I'm sure it's the same thing on this side too. That's what we're catching on each side, but the rest of it looks great. If I look down below here into the crankcase, you can see a little bit of rust on the corners there. Oh. You can see a little bit of rust there, but it doesn't look terrible. It looks a lot better than I thought originally. Same with the top part of the piston. So, I know it's hard to see through a camera on a camera, but nonetheless, but it's not terrible. We could take this head off and just kind of clean up those edges with something, and it might help, which I might do. But yeah, it's starting to spin freely, and I think we're going to be able to get a run on this. So I am going to degrease this, pressure wash it, get it all cleaned up, and as well as the actual body of the sled itself here, all in the belly pan here. I'm having towels or paper towels there soak up a lot of the pools of oil and mystery oil, but we'll degrease this whole thing and spray it all down with a heated pressure washer. But big accomplishment today. So I'm going to celebrate by going to grab some lunch, and I'll be back, and I believe when we come back we should start cleaning things up. I want to get everything where I don't touch it and get grease everywhere, or mystery oil or PB blaster or whatever, and just kind of get everything cleaned up and restart here now that we have a more free rotating engine. So I'll be back. Well, it is the next day, and I decided we are going to dive in a little bit more into this engine. This is take two. I just did this whole segment, but I forgot to turn on my mic, and you know how that goes. So this is the engine that was the spare that I got for like $100, I think. And I took the head off, which came off super easy, just slid right out. And you could see, you know, it's dirty, but it's not terrible. Definitely a lot of black in there. This probably, I don't know how many miles were on this, it's unknown. But you can still see the crosshatch if you look through the dirt and grime on this piston. And I already took off the rings, because I'm going to take this piston head off, clean it all up, and bring it over to the originally seized motor, and take this piston head off and just do a switcheroo, and then clean all this up, put the head back on, and bada boom, bada bing, a couple of little doodads, and we should be good to go. So my buddy Eric has a laser engraver that can cut out gaskets, so he just needs the measurements. So I'm just going to bring him this other head that I'm not going to need, and he can just do all his measurements he needs and get you know, the gasket pretty good. I figure that'll probably be quicker than me trying to find one and order one. And while he's doing that, we'll clean everything up, and then get this old, you know, gasket material off. And yeah, I don't know, does that sound dumb? Just doing a piston swap, kind of keeping everything else, so we kind of stay true to the original motor idea that I originally thought, that I originally wanted to do. So, I don't know, let me know in the comments, I guess. But this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'll be right back. Gonna drop that off and see you guys when we do something next here. Well, good morning. Or actually it's afternoon now. But I've been kind of tinkering around. I cleaned the piston head off. Got it off, obviously got it off the old motor, or the spare motor we have that we should really just put back in the sled. But you can see it. There is some scrapes on it, but you can still see crosshatch. But there's a couple little dings, or not dings, but scrapes, but I can barely feel it. The worst one is right there in the middle. These are kind of more just like discolored than anything, but right there I can feel a little tiny bit, but nothing crazy. But what we're gonna do is get the rings back on. You can see spots on the piston here where the, oh, sorry, copyright. You can see the spots. Let me see if I can put it in the light here. So there's a spot here and a spot here. That's where the ring gaps sit. And then the piston obviously will put it back in. But we're gonna need to bring this whole engine to my buddy Eric's shop. He made a gasket, but we're gonna see if it actually fits. So I gotta clean this surface up, clean the head surface up. But I'm gonna do that first before I put this piston in. And then I got the retainer clips there, and then the little bearing that it sits in, like so. Okay, we got the piston on. We got a little bit of lube in there. And yeah, I think what's next is I got these surfaces cleaned up. And you can see a couple Mars from trying to pop that cover off. So hopefully a little bit of RTV or something will clean that up or fill that in. We'll see what we can do. But this is all for fun. We got the arrow facing towards the exhaust, and yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'll clean out when we get there a little bit more inside, just the best I can, and yeah, grab the head gasket too and see what we can do. So we're at Eric's shop, and as you can see, we have the gasket on. And I just want to show you the gasket that he made. He made another one here. Look at how precise that is. He has a laser cutter, so he measured all this himself, and it fit on perfectly. We got the jug back on, spinning nice and freely. No noise. The little bit of noise you can hear is just the clutch. Crankcase had a little bit of schmoo in there. We blew it out best we could. We'll see what happens, but I think she'll run.
Our new old stock head gasket works.
New old stock head gasket.
Brand used.
The issue with these is everything is unobtainium. You just can't get any parts for these motors anymore, especially anything with the water pump.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Makes too much compression.
Maybe 50. It's 130 anyway. That's
wow.
Not as much as you can ask for on something like that. That's clean 130.
I'm happy with anything over 120.
That's, it doesn't get much better than 130, maybe 150 on a real new two-stroke.
Oh, she's gonna run.
That's sweet.
Oh yeah. Figure I'd give you guys a quick update on the Alpine. I'm sure a few of you have seen this thing in the background at my shop. This is actually Eric's, and it was running, but not really well. It would not stay idling. You could give it a little throttle, but it was just not doing too hot. So he ended up going through it and found out the timing was completely off. So he retimed it. It runs great now, but the next problem he was having was when it was moving, the rear cogs there would start skipping out of the windows on the track. I know it's hard to see, I'm sorry. Found out that the track on the right side was completely wrong, and the way they, whoever had this last, adjusted it was they adjusted it like at an angle so it wouldn't skip as much, but it was rubbing on the side. So he ordered a new track for that side. That's the proper one. So hopefully that fixes that, and then this thing can get back up and running and back on the trail. You see too, the drive cogs are chooched up too, so he threw a new set of those on. And yeah, these things always get boogered up. So yeah, that's the update on the Alpine. You guys will be seeing this soon. Let's head back to the shop now, and tomorrow, because I'm all out of time today, we will get the engine back in. And well, good afternoon. It's been a couple days since that last scene or section of video you just saw when we were at Eric's. Let me turn off the radio so I don't get copyrighted. And a couple things has happened off camera, nothing crazy. I went ahead and took a power washer and completely washed the whole engine bay or cowl or whatever you want to call the front of the sled here, and pressure washed the whole sled. It was really nice out, so I had the pressure washer out to do a bunch of my vehicles and stuff, so I decided to hit this sled while that was out and running. And then I also got a new battery for it. It looks identical. It's the kind you need to put the acid in. It's old school, and actually charge it up. So I put that on charge last night, put that in this morning, so that's good to go. And then I also dressed up the engine a little bit, so let me bring you over there and show you what I did. So here she is. I took the recoil off just to make sure there was no mouse nests in there, because a few acorns came out of the hole there when we were, tipping it all around. And it was nice and clean, which is good. So I put that back on, works perfect. Even though I'm gonna use the electric start. The oil pump line's connected. I just gotta cut it to length, hook it to the carb when we're ready. The new carb boot is on from the old engine here, because the one that came with this engine was completely disgusting. So that's good to go. Water pump's put back on with the cover, and that spins. Unfortunately, I was going to take this clutch off because all the teeth are in good shape, because this one got a little mangled up when we were trying to unseize it. And that one has a little bit of a noise to it, but I do not have the right puller for this, so I got to order one and wait. But I really want to take this thing for a ride hopefully today. So we're going to run the original clutch. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Also, I know the couple of you saying crank seals. Now, I have the part numbers for the crank seals. I was going to do crank seals because we were already diving into this, doing pistons and everything. I can't find anything. I've called auto part stores. I've looked on eBay for new old stock. I went and see if we can cross-reference anything. I have the numbers for them, and I'll put them up on the screen. I can't, it's out of stock everywhere, or they're not being made. I can't find anything. And so without really doing a deep dive, which I'm not going to do right now, I really want to get this thing going so I can just ride it around. We're going to just run the original crank seals, and it is what it is at this point. So now that we have that all out of the way and kind of updated to where we are at, we are ready to plop this new engine in, or the same engine, just refurbished, back in. And I did spray some rust converter down there. It's starting to turn black. Takes a little bit, but that should hopefully slow that down. And get it all mounted up, get the lines all reconnected. I have a new fuel line ready to go, just got to trim it, and new crankcase line for the fuel pump. And everything else I'm going to leave because they're still really soft and pliable. And there, if you know these Yamahas, there is miles of fuel line going up, wrapping around, because the way their gas gauges are going down, around, over through here, up that, through springs to keep them away from the coolant. It's a nightmare. So if I don't have to mess with them, I'm not going to. I did check inside. The tank's nice and dry. The line is connected with a little filter. The little filter has a little bit of what looks like maybe like some rust on it, but I'm gonna try it for now because I really don't want to take that all apart because sometimes it doesn't go back together without some sort of leaking or you break something. So we're gonna leave it be. I'm gonna see if it flows fine. See what happens. Luckily this isn't like a super heavy coolant pipe's in the way. Okay. Come on. Okay. Get that up out of the way. Get that up out of the way. Up out of the way. So we ran into a quick snag. I'm kind of off the path on it for a second. I was putting the motor in. You can see it's kind of off to the side at the moment. I was hooking up some lines, and before I bolted in the motor and did all, I was like, oh, let's just see real quick if the starter will engage while I have it still. I should have tested it while the motor was on the bench, but oh well. And it was not. And so I was like, oh, wait, okay, maybe we can use the extra starter that came with this other engine. No, that's dead too. And I was like, okay, well, before I determine the starter, let's determine. So as you can see here, there's over 12 volts going to the solenoid. And on the other side of the solenoid right here, I held it, blipped the starter, and there is 12 volts going to the this prong of the starter solenoid. So I know that the solenoid is working. So it's definitely the starter that's just not working. So what we're going to do before I go out and buy a new starter, I really don't want to rob. I don't even know if that one's good because the guy told me the battery was dead and I haven't even tried it yet. But I don't want to take that one apart. I want to leave that one together. So what I'm going to do is take this good, well, they're both bad, but the one that looks like it's in better shape, because this one's a little grimy, and I'm going to take it apart and just see if we can do a dirty cleaning on this, just to see if we can get it to engage. It's like $100 for a new starter on eBay for just a generic one, and there's someone selling a used one for $100, but who knows if that would work or not. So before we drop $100 on this thing, because that's half the price of this sled, let's just determine if this, can we clean it up and make it work. And if it doesn't, then we always have the pull start option. It's not the end of the world. It just would make my life easier if we could get the starter working. That'd be really nice, especially trying to prime the system and everything. It's really nice having the starter. So taking these apart, you can see the brushes are just, these things are pretty smoked. But maybe I can clean one up and see if that does anything. So we got some bad news. This starter, I rebuilt it. I basically just took it apart and cleaned it. The brushes are smoked. As you can see on, this is the other one that I took apart. They're basically non-existent. They're supposed to be kind of springy. It's down to the, it's just not, they're just non-existent. So I tried, and we're just gonna have to buy a new starter. But before I buy a new starter, I want to get all this put together and see if this thing actually runs. We can just pull start it. And if there's something else that's catastrophically bad on this thing, then I don't have to spend the $100 on a starter if I don't need to. All right, motor's in, motor mounts are tight. We now need to go through the carb, and then we can do all the little gobbledygook, the exhaust, the air intake, stuff like that. So we're gonna switch gears over here. I really need to clean up this table. It is a freaking mess and it's bothering me. And let's just see how bad it is in there. So this is a key-in carb. We're gonna take this all apart here. I'm really hoping. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm really hoping this is pretty clean. I have not dove in it yet. I do have a parts carb, but it's not in good shape. Oh no. Sled is just fighting me. Luckily I have a little bit nicer hardware. That needle seems like it's in better shape than this one. Well, let's get the ultrasonic fired up here, because we're going to need it. Everything I own is just falling apart. Sorry, my mic died. So I'm just showing you the carb. It's all nice and clean. Showing you also the jets, seeing that it's nice and clear. Same with the other one. I think that's the main one right there I'm holding. Nice and clear as well. And just gonna get this all put back together and back on the sled. Looks good though, cleaned up really well. Oh, good afternoon. It was a cold start this morning. Had a bunch of errands to run, so it's unfortunately the afternoon now, late afternoon. And my goal today is to finally get this thing all buttoned up. Tomorrow we're supposed to get a little bit of snow, nothing crazy. I think it's like 2 to 4 inches, but enough where, you know, it'll be a fun sled day where we could take this thing out for a little rip. It's not registered or anything, and I don't think the trails are doing too hot. So we'll just take it around the area here and see how she does. But we still have a little ways to go. I got to get the exhaust on, all the plastics, air box, carb, and we still got to rob the choke cable off the other one. So let's start with the exhaust, get that buttoned up on there, and just kind of start piecing this thing together and making it look like a whole sled again. It's kind of hard to tell, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you if there's things in this exhaust. It has a little bit of a rattle, but I don't know. Maybe it'll blow out. We'll see. Almost ready to go. I'm going to put a little premix in the tank, because that fuel pump isn't primed. I've been pulling for a little bit to see if I could try to pre-prime it, but it's just taking forever. So if I just put premix in, run it for a little bit, then that fuel pump should, or that oil pump should catch up. I won't have to put the whole thing, just enough till I can see it, because I don't want it to run too rich after it's ready to go. Let's start with that. All right, moment of truth. Will this seized Yamaha finally start up after sitting for 10 plus years? Oh, I gotta do this, put the spark plug in. Key on. Choke up. Let's pull. Come on. Yes! It's crazy. This thing was seized a couple days ago. And now, seems like it runs pretty good. So we have one more thing we need to address that I noticed when I was putting the exhaust back on, and that's a little hole that's on the side of the exhaust. I put my hand underneath, I can feel, it seems like it's flowing freely. I'm sure there's a mouse nest in there and stuff, but I really can't do a whole lot. So with the mouse nest being inside, but we can at least see if I'll weld up that hole and fix that. And thing's just running beautiful. We need to clean up a couple side panels, clean her up a little bit, but I'm blown away. So you can kind of see the smoke, maybe the camera will pick it up, billowing out of the hole. It's right in that corner underneath that little lip. And yeah, we're gonna have to address that. Also, while the sled's up in the air, I'm just gonna check the bogies. They do spin. That one's just touching the track. But if I push the track down, it spins freely. Definitely, they definitely can have the bearings replaced. We'll probably do that later on in the future. I want to do a part 2 on this, and we can go through a little bit more. I just want to make sure it runs down the trail all right before I do a whole lot to this thing. We're getting off topic. Let's get this exhaust off now that I got it nice and warm. So I'll pull those springs again, get that off, and I'll show you guys what's going on. So I got the exhaust on the bench, let it cool off a little bit. It was still a little hot, but you can see it's actually in really good shape. But there's the hole right there, right on the bend. And yeah, the rest of it looks pretty good. So I actually have my baroscope here, and I'm gonna see. So now we're looking in through the hole. You can see a screen back there, which doesn't look like it's plugged. There's no mouse nest that I can see. That actually is good news. Sure, oh, took another photo. I'm sure mice got up in here and they might have put a nest here, but it looks like there's a screen here. So I'm sure this part isn't plugged. Obviously this was on the exhaust of the engine, so unless if they can get completely through, but if they did put a mouse nest, it would probably be somewhere here. But I did put my hand here while it was running, and it was flowing really good. So there's not a lot of restriction, but either way, if we stab this thing down the trail, put some high RPMs through her and some wind, I'm sure it'll blow out anything that's left, but we'll see. But nonetheless, we need to fill up that hole. So I'm gonna clean that up, get my welder, and see if we can just kind of weld over that and just kind of do a little plug. So let's attempt it. I know, my hair's getting wild, but I got it all cleaned up, and well, the spot, I got it down to bare metal, and let's just attempt a spot. I mean, it's worth a try, right? Metal seems pretty thick, so I turned the welder way down. The issue with my welder, it's a Miller-Matic 251. It's a big welder, so it likes to blow through thin metal, like body work, like if you're doing sheet metal, don't even try. I got to pick up a little Harbor Freight cheapo welder, like a 110 or something that can just cook onto like thin sheet metal just to do quick little patches like this and whatnot. But well, it looks like complete poo-poo, but you're not going to see it from underneath. And as long as it just kind of holds the exhaust from going That's all I care about. I'm sure the area wasn't perfect and stuff like that, but since I have the welder out, I was just trying to have a little fun here. Not bad. Dialing in the percentage, just to show you how like that thin metal over there on the exhaust is just super hard to weld with this welder, but a nice thick piece of metal there. She does pretty good. That's not bad. I really started off doing pretty good and then got a little sloppy at the end. Been practicing. I'm going to do a couple more passes and then we get back to the sled. So exhaust is back in. Can't even see the weld. Got the clutch cover back on. The junk spare belt, just for looks. And I think she is pretty much good to go. Really, the only things is 3 bolts and 2 little screws that I don't know where they go, but I think this also was on the second engine too. I gotta keep remembering. I took apart a whole second engine, and I think these were, oh, I'm actually not sure. But that's not bad. A couple of spare parts, everything looks pretty good. And let's fire her back up, see if any smoke comes out of there. And then I'm gonna probably just clean her up, and tomorrow we'll do the big reveal and go for a little ride. Ah. First pull. I don't feel anything. There's a tiny little bit of smoke right there, but that could be the paint I just put on there, kind of burning off a little bit. But I put my hand right up to it and I didn't feel anything. But even if it's very minute, it's a lot better than what was there before. So I'm gonna call that a win. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit for probably another hour or so. Probably get the decals off, give her a good wipe down, and then probably call it a night. So tomorrow, I'll give you guys the big reveal, and then we're going to go for a ride, finally. It's been like 2.5 years in the making, and I'm excited. I haven't even rode the one that's allegedly semi-good, but still kind of bad over there. So this will be a true first Inviter experience. I'm excited. Today is, that was a loud woodpecker. Today is the day. Let's get this thing fired up and head down the trail. Man, that guy's loud. Let's see how many pulls it takes for her to start. 2 pulls. back. My fault. I didn't properly bleed the coolant system. Big air pocket in there. Filled it up, bled it to the best I could for it being out here. So we should be good to go. I put another, I don't know, maybe half a quart of coolant in it. So hopefully that helps with the cooling. Hopefully it's not the water pump being disintegrated, because I know they're known to do that. So we'll see if the temp light comes back on. Let's hope it doesn't. This thing runs really good. I'm actually very impressed with it. It's a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It actually handles quite well. You would not think it with the way the handlebars are, but just the way it's positioned, the way you're positioned, it's like being on a lazy boy on the trails. Now, granted, like humps and big bumps and stuff, it doesn't soak up too well, just like any kind of snowmobile from this era and before. But flat trails, goes pretty good too. I say probably goes around 50, around there. And I like it. I like it a lot. And I think she's proven that we can start throwing a little money at her. I think she definitely deserves of a new starter. The bogey wheels and the whole skid needs to be gone through. I can hear some noises down there. I'm sure some bearings are shot. And maybe new carbide runners and a couple other little odds and ends. Temp light hasn't come back on. I think it was just air in the system. I purged that, and she seems like she's pretty good. So this video was like 2.5 years in the making, so I appreciate you guys watching, especially if you made it all the way through. And yeah, you'll see this in a future video. Might not be this year. It might be next winter. Not sure. Got a whole bunch of stuff that's still lined up. So yeah, Cuppy lives again. All right, I'll see you guys very soon.